I've been thinking lately that maybe beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Like these birds, for example. To some people, they are among the most repulsive creatures on Earth, while to others they are fascinating and beautiful. And I'm wondering if that fascination could be contagious. So today we're going to talk about vultures. Vultures are often called ugly, and I can see why. They have a bald head and neck. They're big, bulky, and awkward. They're not very graceful. And they have this weird habit of eating roadkill. But I think that if you got to know them better, you might find them pretty amazing. Vultures are actually one of the most important parts of our ecosystem. They are nature's cleanup crew. See? When an animal dies, it starts to decompose, and that decomposition process generates gases that are potent greenhouse gases. If left unchecked, these gases would trap more heat in our lower atmosphere and possibly speed up climate change. But vultures are there to stop that. They eat the dead animals before the gases have a chance to escape. And then they poop it out as ammonia, which doesn't trap heat as effectively. It's also a good thing that vultures don't discriminate. They'll eat just about any dead animal, including pests like rats and snakes, and even endangered species like sea turtles. That means that they help regulate diseases that could be passed on to humans through other animals. And that's not all. By eating roadkill, they save us humans time and money. In one study done in South Africa, researchers found that vultures saved South Africa's government about $7.4 million a year by cleaning up roadkill. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, roadkill. Well, in order to get at the tasty bits inside a dead animal, vultures often need to tear apart the carcass, and that leaves them with a mess on their feathers. To clean themselves up, vultures will roll around in a stinky, soupy mud. Kind of like a bird bath that's reserved for the dirtiest of jobs. They'll use their beaks to scrape off the gunk in the mud to rinse down. And it works really well. The water runs off their feathers, taking the dirt with it. And since vultures don't have any feathers on their heads, necks, or feet, they are able to get much cleaner than any other bird. The problem is that people don't seem to appreciate all the hard work that vultures do. Sometimes people try to feed them so they'll move away from their homes. Other times they harass them, and sometimes they even kill them. In India, people have been poisoning vultures because they've been eating livestock that have died from snake bites. In Africa, people hunt them for their skin, and in some places they re-killed simply because they reconsidered ugly. And that's really too bad, because not only are vultures important for our ecosystem, but they're also really interesting. Did you know that there are only two kinds of vultures in the Americas? One is the California condor, which is critically endangered, and the other is the turkey vulture. Turkey vultures are the ones that you most likely to see in your lifetime, and they pretty easy to identify. They have a distinct V-shaped tail, black flight feathers, and a bare head and neck. Speaking of bare heads and necks, you've probably noticed that vultures have no feathers there. It turns out that these feathers would get in the way of their weird way of eating. See, vultures have these special serrated bills that are great for tearing meat, kind of like scissors. But if they had feathers covering their neck, those scissors wouldn't work properly. Not having feathers on their heads and necks also helps protect them from the elements. And it protects them from bacteria too. Vulture skin has these tiny little holes, and those holes can close up when the vulture rolls around in its mud bath. That means that bacteria can't get in and cause an infection. And speaking of those funky bills, vulture bills come in all shapes and sizes. The bill of a California condor is almost 5 inches long, while the bill of a white-backed vulture is less than 2 inches long. No matter the shape, though, every vulture bill is built for tearing and ripping. Their bills are tough, but they're also lightweight, which makes them easy to move around. And they have these little bumps on the front of their upper bill. Those bumps make it easier for the vulture to hold on to slippery pieces of meat. As you may have noticed, vultures are not graceful. They have short, rounded wings and a relatively small wingspan for their size. That means that they're not built for soaring. Instead, vultures tend to flap their wings as they fly. When they land, they sort of stumble and rock back and forth until they get their balance. But that waddle has a purpose. Vultures tend to walk with their feet pointed straight forward. That means that they can't see where they're going, so they waddle to give themselves some extra support and to help them see where they're going. So the next time you see a vulture, take a moment to appreciate this fascinating bird. You might think it's ugly, but to me, there's no bird more beautiful than one that cleans up our mess. Thanks for watching. I'm your host. This is BirdNote. If you want to help us make even more videos like this one, please consider supporting us. And remember, don't just take my word for it. Look it up.